Right, well, you've joined us this week on Salles in south of France, and it's supposed to be 42 acres, but we're not too sure. And we're fishing on the far margins where we've seen quite a few fish jumping and moving about. Ted's got his over towards the inlet there, and I'm just further over towards that far side over there. Done all right. We've not really forgot anything. Bait wise, we're going with what bait is it, Ed? DNA S7, and we've got a bit of Pacific tuna as well, which we know has been doing well. So we're going with Pacific tuna for tonight. It's just got three rods over two. We took out with the boat each, both with tuna and a little bit of particle, and one we're just singling to the middle. Purely because the batteries were running out on the boat. I charged them all before they come, but they started to run out, so I've got one on charge down there now. And we got soaked before we got here, obviously driving through, got over on the ferry, we jumped down here and everything, we was battering it down with rain all the way here, and we got here and it was just caning it down. I managed to get my bivvy up, but none of the others didn't. They all just got their heads down in the cars. But yeah, we're here now. We're on peg 1. There's 6 pegs, but there's a 7th peg being built further to the left, which isn't quite ready yet, which we thought, or we was told at first, was our peg, but it was soaked, so I had to go and see the owner, who has told us that he's building it. What's his name? Theobald. He's told us that he's building a 7th peg. So yeah, but no, complex looks pretty good, straight in, pretty easy to find, to be fair. You just come to the village, Montier end there, and then you can see the lake. If you go on maps, you can see the lake from there. We booked it on Angling Lines, was it, Ed? Yeah. Angling Lines direct, so we just booked it on there. I think it was £300 odd roughly each with the ferry. Fuel's probably cost us 80-90 quid to get here. Probably going to be the same back. Bait wise, we brought 10 kilogram of the DNA, probably about 5 kilogram of the tuna, 4 kilogram of the tuna, and another 10 kilogram of the particle. So it'll all be going in anyway, so we're definitely going to give them a feed. So yeah, it's mid-afternoon now, so we're just waiting for this peg to dry out a little bit from the rain from before, but then apart from that, hopefully it's forecast to be a pretty decent night, really. So that's it. First French trip for me and Edward, so we're going to see how we get on. So it was a bit of a gruel look at him coming down here. We didn't really expect that drive, but we managed it, and yeah, so that's what we're doing. So we've got 6 days. It's going to be a 6-day vlog. I'm going to try and do it in 6 parts, hopefully, and hopefully we'll have some fish to show you on this one, because I know we've been blanking on Baden all, but now we're in France. We might have a bit of luck. And all the guys over in peg 5 we were speaking to before they left, they had 15 fish, I think, between the two of them in a week, but they were all good sizes. I think they go up to low 50s in here, and that's it. I'll just give you a quick look at the lake. A bit of a wind blowing now, you probably hear it on the camera, but it sort of bends right round to the left down there, and then it runs off, and the two other fellas, my cousins, are over there fishing on peg 6, which is like a bit of a fin that comes out just to the left, and I think they're fishing with Salles and a bit of particle. Well, they've got that fin that comes out there, you can see, and then there's another one behind, like a bay, so especially if it gets warmer they may push in there. But yeah, that's where we're up to at the moment. But it's a beautiful place, all natural looking, big reed line all across the back, which we didn't know whether the boat was going to make it or not, and it has done. It's made it, so we've made up with that. That's about it, really. Park right up behind your swim. There's a swim. Just put a little tap on there, Ed. Yeah, there's a swim. Bivvies facing each other, and just getting a knock on his then, Ted. Yeah, you can park right up behind your swim. There's shower facilities, toilets. You can buy beer from him. The village is about 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away, Ed. So yeah, Yeah, it's worth having a look. So you go on angling lines and just put Salles in, Salles Lake. You can see it on there, or YouTube. I think there's other videos showing you around the lake and stuff like that. I don't think it's an easy water. I just think I don't know, from what I've heard, it's an average French lake, but it's about stock of about 550 fishes they had. About 550 fish. I think it was 400 odd when they last netted it, and then they put another 150 in, I think. I don't really know the exact numbers, but there's plenty to go at. So we'll see how we get on anyway. Probably check in with you tomorrow now, and then hopefully have something to show you. First run of the evening, day 1. And what was the weight, Ed? 27 pound mirror. Ed's first French carp and a new PB. Absolutely bang on. Brilliant. Right, so yeah, Edward's just caught his new PB, 27 pound, and it was over on the far margin against the reeds, which we was told to fish to before by a couple of guys that was over on peg 5, which is at the far end over there. They said all that far margin, the fish do hug it. So he tucked it in probably 2 or 3 rod lengths from the bank, and it just produced that for him. Bit of a weird take, a couple of little beeps, and then it just started dropping back really slow. The bailiff was with us at the time when the take happened, and he said, yeah, that's a take. That's how they perform in here. They basically take the bait and they sit on the spot. They don't really move off it. So they're known to take the bait, and 2 or 3 hours later you're reeling into, you know, rebait, or, you know, just check your rig, and there's a fish on the end. So you've got to be really, really cautious of the knocks in this place. And you know, Ed reacted to it, and he's just got his PB out, so it just shows you it's not always a screaming run, which we all want, but sometimes when you're thinking things are liners because we've not got bat leads on, it's actually turned out to be a fish. So yeah, we're going to be a bit more cautious tonight when we're hearing beeps and knocks. I think we're going to be up and out rather than just sort of ignoring them and waiting for that run, to be fair. Typical bream bite, you know, you'd expect a couple of knocks or a tench bite, you know, but we've been told there's no catfish in here, there's no sturgeon, there's no bream, there's a couple of tench, but they don't really bother you, to be fair. So yeah, we're going to be listening in. So yeah, that was on Pacific tuna bottom bait with a small pink topper, which they're not a brand, I've just smelt them. They smell like the tiger nuts, the old pink fluoro tiger nuts that Dynamite Baits did. It's got a bit of a smell like them. So hopefully, the rod was in 2 hours, 3 hours at the most, and we had the first fish on the bank. So fingers crossed we're going to see more in the evening and the rest of the week. So we'll keep you posted. We woke up 12:30 to this 27.6 mirror. Absolutely melted off on the left hand rod, which was one on the far margins, with a Pacific tuna with a little centromel on it. Absolutely melted off. Feels heavier than 27, but I've checked it twice. I've made up with that. Brilliant. Nice one, Ed. Right, okay, morning. So after those 2 fish that we had last night, it was all a mixture of CC Moore Pacific tuna freezer baits with a CC Moore bait with a centromel, and Ted had on his like a small pink topper. Well, this morning, obviously, the tuna's starting to run low, so we're going to be going with the new bait. So we're going with the freezer baits, the Secret 7 by DNA. We bought these as part of a package that they did online, putting in some corn, some fresh corn. All the juice as well is going to be going in. Topping on the up baits with the wafters, so it settles down nice and slow. And then we've got from Monster Particle, it's like a party blend mix. We've got some bits of tigers and hemp and corn maize. It looks like there's a couple of chickpeas in there as well. Gonna get all together, mash it up, and we've got the spod syrup as well, the matching S7 spod syrup. So we're setting all 3 rods this morning on the far margin, which is going to basically try and just give them a line. So as they hit the reeds, they're going to be coming across, they're going to be hitting these rods. Pretty similar tactics to yesterday, so hopefully that's what will do the business for us today. Right, so we've done the mix now. Spod syrup's in, particles in, boilies are in, and we threw in a few freezer tutti fruities that we had as well as a side, and that's the finished product. Proper gooey, cloudy mix. that's going to come in and offer him a variety of different things, and all the clouds are just going to mix up in the water, and hopefully this is what's going to catch us some more today. Right, so as you can see now, Ed has just reset his rod on that far margin, which was a bit nearer to the actual margin itself, and he's hooked into one. It's been in 15 minutes, it's been snug, tight up against the reeds, and there's a little alcove just there, and what we're doing now is we're tucking it right in. We've put his rod out before just to see, get it really tight in, and it was in an hour and went off. He's just put the same rod back in now, in the same spot, tight in again. It's been in 15 minutes and it's gone, so we're on them now. We know where they are, we know what they're doing. They're going in that alcove for a little bit of shelter away from everything, getting off the wind in there. And as they're coming in and out, tomorrow we're going to concentrate all our rods either side of that alcove, right tight against the reeds, and just get a load of bait in there, and we're just going to start picking them off. That's the plan. But yeah, he's into this fish now. It feels decent, he said, so hopefully be another 30. He is 50s in here, 40s. Just sat watching the City game with a beer. Again, nice slow take, a couple of little knocks, and straight into it. He's just playing it low with the rod to try and keep it under my lines. No sign of it yet. See where it is yet, Ed? No. I think with the distance that we're fishing at as well, and the bow in the line, I think that is making them feel a lot bigger than they are as well, because we've had quite a few 20s. It's about 300 yards we're fishing, the boat's managing it with a distance.
Going for another run.
Just when you think you're on top of it and it's coming back, you belt off again. I'm going to have to stop because we've got a double look up here, I think. Yep, I'm going to have to stop. Sorry. And here it is, £34.10 off the far reeds. Beautiful mirror. We've just given it some carp care on its mouth. It had a little tiny cut from the hook, and it's just going to pop it back now. What's that, your second 30 now, that Ed?
34.
And two 20s he's had. So we know where they are now, so hopefully be a few more of these to come. Nice one, Ed. Right, okay, so it's half time on the City game, and we've just been sat there chatting, and it's a couple of little beeps, and then it's just gone for it. Bit of a dead weight, this one, so I don't know whether it's, you know, you always think you seem to be the bigger fish with the dead weights, but what we've noticed is, because we're fishing as far as we are, the drag that we're getting in the line, the bites are coming a lot slower, so I think we're getting a bit of bow in the line. So what we're trying to do is just keep that tension, so they probably feel like they're heavier than they are. Most of them have been between sort of 20, low, you know, mid 20s and mid 30s, but with these small 10-pound rods, even though they are 3-pound test curve, it does always make them feel a little bit better. But we're not rushing them, we're giving them a chance, trying to tire them out. So we'll just see how we get on with this one, but it's took quite a bit of line. I'll let it take a bit, but slowing it down. But at the moment it's just kited far left. So we're just trying to bring it in slowly. I'm not, even though I'm on 18-pound line, the new Ridge Monkey RM Tech line, I'm not dragging it in. I'm just letting it come to me low, you know. Takes as long as it takes, really. I'm on the think it's the Corda Kamakura hooks, size 6, and with the Corda kickers on, and we're finding that the blowback, because the fish seem to be picking the bait up and you're trying to eject it, the blowback rigs seem to be doing us the trick. And I've got 4-ounce leads on. I was a bit nervous about using them because it is quite soft. I stood in the margins before and it does sink right in, so I was a bit nervous thinking that the 4-ounce leads was dragging me rig down with it, but I'm fishing with about a 12-inch hook link. I like a longer hook link myself, so I think I'm probably alright. But we've got our friend next to us here on the left, so I'm just trying to bring it back over now to me right, because I don't want to take him out. But they just feel like you're pulling in a wet mattress here, but it's on. It feels a bit better than the other two, so fingers crossed I'll get my first 30 on this if I land it. And we'll leave the video there and then I'll come back to you once we're ready for the weigh-in, hopefully if I land it. So we're still playing the same fish. Been playing it now for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Not coming in at all. It just took me right round these trees to the left, and it's in front of me now, so hopefully I'll start to see it come up. Just trying to watch because I've not got back leads on these 2 rods. So, well, Salles, French lake fishing. Absolutely love it. £25 free this one. It took me ages to get it in, about 25 minutes. But well worth the wait. Caught this one on the DNA baits, S7. Same with the spod mix and the cork ball wafters. We'll get this one back now and hopefully get them back out for another one. Just took a load of leeches off it as well. Get in. Right, just going to show you the rig I'm using for this session. Straight through tubing, obviously standard safe clip setup. Got a 4-ounce lead on. I was a bit nervous about the lead. I was going to drop them down to a 2.5, but I'm going to leave the 4s on because I've had another run on it. I've had a couple of fish, so don't see many reasons to change now. 12-inch hook link with a little bit of Corda dark matter putty in the middle. Obviously any putty will do. And just a DNA cork ball wafter with a piece of corn on top of it. And the Corda kickers, which obviously are giving the boat blowback effect. And the hook is a Kamakura size 6. And that's it. Right, we're on the morning of day 3. Just had a brew each. Couple of brews each, reset a couple of the rods. Just waiting for the battery to charge on the boat, and one of Edward's rods, the right hand rod, sorry, left hand rod, is what he's left in from last night. He's just had a drop back on it, and the bobbin started lifting pretty slow, and he's into a fish. It kited to the far right, now it's gone right over to the left. A bit colder this morning. It's about 7 degrees at the minute, 8 degrees. Not too bad though. Same tactics, far margin. DNA S7, spod mix, doing the trick. A little pink topper on top, making him a little snowman. I had a bit of a run this morning, but jumped out and missed it. To be careful here because you've got this tree right round here and it's really snaggy. Had another one last night, 24 was it, Ed?
23.9.
23.9. I think it was about 1:30 in the morning, wasn't it, that?
Yeah.
Melted off. We thought it was a bit bigger at first because it was taking quite a lot of line. We couldn't get a grip of it, but as I say before, because we're fishing at the distance, I think it's causing us problems with the bow in the line, so they feel a lot heavier. We're fishing at least 300 yards, but they all still seem to be coming. A lot of them off just there's a little inlet. I'll try and zoom in and show you. Just in here. Just there, and this one's just come off this little point just here. I'll put a bird's eye view of the map up at the end so you can see exactly where we've been fishing and how we've approached it. I think that's still over there, isn't it, Ed? Not quite a bit to go yet, looking on it.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. It's in there.
Right, so I'm going to switch it off and land this fish and hopefully have a look at it. Here it is. 27 pound on the nose. Got a bit of a tail missing at the back. Proper Italian looking fish though, big shoulders on it. Quite wide fish as well. Big mouths on them as well, these. 27 pound. Same spot off that little corner. Well done, Ed. Brilliant. Definitely advise people, if you've not already got one, to get some of these retainer slings. Just good as well for holding them in and recovering. Let them catch the breath. Quite warm, the water. Warmer than we thought. Just resetting the boat now. There it goes. Off to the far margin. So that little alcove that seems to be producing just after that fish. And what we're doing is we found with the bow in the line, the way we were like sending the boat out, one holding the rod and the other sort of navigating the boat, we found the line was a bit slack and we were having to like reel in a bit afterwards to bring it back. So what we've done now is we're sitting it on the rod and just letting it putting the bait runner on sensitive and just letting it take itself out. Just keeps that line under tension for us at that distance. Just changing different things every day. It's just coming up on 12 o'clock on day 3. There's a bit of a northeasterly pushing now, wind's changed direction. Still on them far reeds. Right at the back over there. Wind's pushing them down there now, maybe. But we're keeping our eye on it. A lot of insects in the water and tadpoles. Seen quite a few tadpoles as well. It's still a nice day for it though. Don't know if this wind's made a bit of a difference or not. We'll see. Well, after an absolute amazing day sat in the sun, no fish at all between us, apart from one last night. Just had a chaotic 25-minute fight with this 41lb 4 common. Unbelievable, I can't believe it. Absolute unit of a fish. Coming in, I wouldn't have said it was any bigger than 18lb. Got it between them rods there. It just absolutely took us apart. I've had to pass it under rods, pass it over rods, and that's it there. 41lb 4, pure Salles common. Brilliant. The common now, made me day, absolutely brilliant. 41lb 4, probably a little bit spawned up, but absolutely epic. I've just had a nightmare. It's Tuesday morning and woke up to set the rods. We had one fish last night. It's about 20 odd pound common. Boat ran out of battery. Had to go and ask the neighbour next door if we could, I think his name's Johan, ask him if we can retrieve it. And yeah, we got it back. I thought he was going to go for a swim at one point and get it for us, but yeah, need a couple of new batteries for it, I think. But yeah, this morning we was thinking last night, because we had a bit of a quiet day until we obviously had that big common. We was thinking about putting some just in the middle, along here, all the way along, but because we see a lot showing there at night. But we're going to stick to our guns and stay on that far reed line today. We've got quite a bit of bait left, so we're gonna give them a bit of bait today as well. Probably like drop first day we put like 2 scoops in each, so probably give them like half a kilo a drop. But now we're probably gonna give them a little bit more, try and bring them on, try and get them around us a bit more in there, because we're staying in the same swim, so we're just topping up really what we've done. Because we didn't want to put too much in, we wanted them competing for the upbait rather than just feeding them. But yeah, we're going to put a bit more in today and see if that makes a bit of a difference, because we've got the bait to use. We're not really want to take any home with us, and we're not going to run out because they sell some in the shop. So yeah, see how we go. But get a bit of bait. Ted's just gone and recharge the other battery, and then we're going to set all our rods this morning, get some brekkie on, see what the day brings. So keep us updated. Right, well it's day 3 now. Edward's been sat here all morning with me. He's had his head up his backside a little bit. He had one last night, but the bites have sort of slowed down a little bit since this wind started pushing a northeasterly. We're still ticking over with him. Like I say, I had that 40 yesterday. Ed had a 20 odd pounder last night, but we've got up this morning a little bit deflated because at the far end, our cousins who were with are fishing. They're on spinner rigs, Ronnie rigs, and they seem to be getting the bites a little bit quicker. They're coming a bit thicker and faster down there. But we've just been sat there now just chatting about different things, what we can do, putting Ronnies on and stuff like that. And it's just this has just had a little slow take.
Right, come off
And
then.
it just bounced off the dorsal. I think he thought he'd lost it then. And yeah, so it just proves you just got to stick to what you're doing. Nothing wrong with change. I mean, I've just put 2 left ones there on these 2 left rods there. Sorry, right rods. Them 2. I've just put same spots, but I've put Ronnies on, and something a little bit more blatant, just in case they're not that riggy in here and they're struggling to Just struggling to differentiate my bait. I've been matching the hatch a little bit. I've probably been overthinking it, but that's probably because I've been going on bait and all, and I've been trying to be, they're a bit riggy in there. So I've obviously been like matching the hatch and probably overthinking it a bit too much, like in there as well. So sometimes just going back to basics, putting something right in front of them a little bit more blatant. They're coming in for a feed and they can differentiate the upbait, make it a little bit more obvious. And that's what I've done. So I've got like an orange and a white and a pink and a yellow snowmans. Yellow and a pink snowman, a 15mm and a 12mm like snowman, and then the same with an orange and a white on the other. Just see if anything happens. I've left the left hand rod on match what I've got on, match the hatch like, so little tweak horn topper with an S7 wafter, and that's back on the spot where I got the 40 from, which is just, you can see there, tree line comes up, dips down, and then above it looks like a little scarecrow there.
Right across there.
Alright, go on mate. Like a little scarecrow there, so I'm just right underneath it about there. But that's like 350 odd yards that. There's hardly anything left on my spool, look. Just enough though, hopefully. I've had a few takes, so I'm not in any danger there, I don't think. As I said, you don't know what you're pulling in because of the bow in the line. We're fishing at that much distance. It's difficult to know whether it's a decent fish or not. But that one I had, that 40, it looked like it was, felt like it was about an 18 pounder. So I'll let him crack on with this. I'll stop filming and then hopefully we'll see, show you the picture of it in a minute, or a video, sorry. Completely forgot to video that fish, but yeah, it was 28-pound mirror, just a little over 28. I had a bit of a nightmare because it ran into these trees, but a lot further round. So I had to, I had to get in here and work my way around there with my waders on. So yeah, 28-pound mirror, and it was trailing a bit of a rig. So we've obviously took that out, cleaned it all up, put some first aid spray on, and put some first aid spray on, and got our bait out, obviously, got that cleaned up as well. Weren't too bad to be fair, the mouth damage, but it was a nice mirror. I'll put a picture up at the end of the vlog. But yeah, I've got 2 Ronnies on still, far margin. Just had the scale tripod go over straight into the water, so the digital scales are knackered. They're drying out, I'll show you. In absolute bits. Try and put them back together, but do you trust them when it's happened? So we're going to borrow some for now. I've just asked the guy that owns the place if he has any, but he's got some, but only to borrow, not at all. I'm looking for some to buy, to be honest. But he's not got a proper tackle shop set up yet, so not a lot I can do. I'll pick some up when I get home, it's not a problem, but we've got some while we're here at least. So hopefully we'll have a few more to show you. Oh, okay, I'm going to drop the camera then. Hopefully have a few more to show you later on. So I'm just going to do a bit of care on this one. It's got a couple of leeches in the mouth, a bit of a sore there, and then we'll get them back. Go ahead. What? Tadpole? Sorry. Yeah. On the beer? Lovely tail. Is that your first comment? So you wanted one, didn't you? You got one. Go on, fucking press record on that one. Like, got it? Got it.
It's gonna be a fucking comedy show the first minute.
Right, well we've just had a double take. About 1:30, 1:45, and I've had this little gnarly mirror. It's blind in one eye, got half a tail, and Ed's had that lovely common. So, buzzing with these. We double take, we've not weighed them yet, but guessing 20s, maybe this one a bit less. But yeah, absolutely buzzing with them. Right, well, had that double take before, belting, two roughly 20 pounders. Quiet, got to about 6 o'clock, bite time. Ed's just said to me, oh, it's bite time now. I said, yeah, I'm going to get my waders on. Within 30 seconds of saying that, my left hand rod has just melted off. And let's turn this round so you can see. Snapped me off. Can't believe it. Just snapped me off. What can you do? Got it about halfway. Just pung, just come back. Took everything. Felt like it dumped the lead though. I didn't feel like bouncing about, so hopefully it's dumped the lead. And it's on a swivel and there's nothing, it's not shoved inside, so it should just pop out. So unfortunately it's got the rig, but the other stuff should drop off. But yeah, it happens. Edward lost one yesterday, I've lost one today. But just keep nailing that spot now. I'll show you where. Well, you can see it here actually. It's the one on the little reed line. You can be able to see it here. Where the tree bumps down. It's just on there. There's like a little stick man at the top over there at the back. So yeah, that's where I am. Oh well. Hopefully, I've one to show you in a bit. It's just drawing to the end of the night now. On day 5, I think this is. And forgot to put my bite alarm on. Sat here just having a drink. And the clutch has just been melting off. And pulled this one in, just a bit over £25. So we'll still a bit of care on this because it's hammered with leeches. A bit of a gnarly tail on it, but yeah, good thick shoulders. Typical mirror out of here. Average weight for us this, to be honest, what we've been having all week. So yeah, made up with that. Good end to the day after I lost one before. Payback this. Brilliant. Cheers, Ed. Right, we're on the final morning before we leave tomorrow, and Ed just had a little bit of a slow take on that right hand rod, which is fishing just to the right hand side of, I'll try and show you now, there's a little orange indicator around there. I don't think you can see it. He's fishing around here on them rushes, and it just cracked him off about 3 rod lengths from the bank, the common. We just set it back straight away just in case there's a little shoal. We think they're hanging around in these little gullies. There's like little insects like this in the rushes, and I think they're getting in them off the reeds. There's one there, there's another one there, and they're all over. I think there's another one further down there. I think they're like little pockets, but if you look at the water there at the back where it's dark brown, I think the winds can't get past these trees, so I think they're sitting there and work their way along these margins feeding through the day. But we're not really having as many fish at night, so I think they pull out and push on down there into deeper water. But at the other end where it's a bit shallower, where the other lads are, they're having a few as well, so maybe they pull off them reeds, they just come in there to get a bit of sun through the day. Right, well it's 3 o'clock on the final day of the session, for us anyway, and I've had to top the spot up on the left hand rod because bite time around 1ish, between 12, 1 and 2, and a couple of hours has come and gone. And I don't know whether they're just moving in a little bit later. They've been a bit lazier this morning moving over, because I've just seen one show just over here, and I'm just underneath that flick there, just at the side of my thumb now, down from there. It's just shown around there, so I think they're coming. I think they're moving there at night. This is just me guessing. And then as that sun hits this bank here first, I think they come out of that cooler water and work their way along the reed lines, and that's where we're picking them off as we go, because usually my left rod goes first and then one of Edward's, but it's done the other opposite this morning. His right rod's gone first, but it's since he's cracked off on that fish. But we were tempted to leave him, but I just got a bit restless and thought I'd just top that one up. Just on that little flick there, you see it just there, That little, looks like a little scarecrow on the bushes, and right below it, basically. So just seen one show out there. Didn't look too bad. So yeah, just waiting for that to go off. So hopefully I'm not missed out on because it's the first morning where we've not topped the bait up. We've just sort of left them a little bit sat in our hands, because we did this yesterday and then we had that fish later on, a couple of fish later on. So it's hard to decide whether to sit on your hands or actually just top it up. So I thought, we'll top one up, and if that goes, I'll top the other two up. Just can't really go wrong today. We've had a really good session. PB'd 2 or 3 times on here. Biggest being that 41.4 common. Be nice to get a 50, but I'm not grumbling. I made up with that. So all in all, I think between, at the moment as it stands, unless we have any more runs, I think all in all we've had about 40 fish in 5 nights. Smallest probably being about 17, 18 pound, right up to 41.4. So 40 fish. I've been told by the bailiff when he come round, he's really good. He come this morning, he couldn't believe how many we'd had. So we fished it well. Like I said, basic approach: particles, pellets, boilies, bit of maize corn, bit of ground bait here and there, maybe put in just to stiffen the mixes up and stuff. Not touched any PVA, none of us are bothered with anything like that. We've not even had a marker rod out between us. We just found spots and just put on them, really. And it just seems to have paid off. And only there's a couple of other teams on down at the far end, and they've had probably 2 or 3 fish. So we've hammered it. So I'm really made up. My first session in France as well. Can't have some more than that. So hopefully we'll have a fish to show you in a bit, and that's one of these will rattle off. See how we get on. Right, we've just been sat here all day, not really had much, to be honest. Ed got snapped off this morning, and just freshened that left hand rod up before, as I said on the video, and just produced this little common. So I'm just wondering if they've pushed over further onto that softer grass. So I'm probably going to put 2 rods out over there tonight, and see if I can get a couple more from over there. But yeah, I've not weighed it yet. It's probably about 20. Yeah, just 18, 19, 20, somewhere around there.